Hello, fam. Happy new moon in Cancer. Looks like there's no video for some reason. Bear with me here. Okay. Looks like we're gonna have to restart this because the video is not showing up. Okay, here we go. Sorry for that delay. We're good now. Happy new moon in Cancer. How are you feeling? Drop in the comments. Let me know how this energy is moving through your life. Cancer being the sign of home and nurturing, the mother. It's a water sign that it really likes to check out all of the different angles before it commits to any kind of decision. So I really feel there's a lot of new relationships beginning with this moon. Also, just your dynamics, your relationship dynamics are being affected by this energy. And maybe it's coming from centering yourself from a more compassionate place, centering yourself more in your heart, listening from your heart, making choices and responses from your heart instead of maybe these old, outworn dynamics that have kind of cluttered your relationships and been a part of destabilizing patterns. You may also see this in your home. It could be a good time to move some things around, clean things in your home. I know that's usually like a full moon thing, but it is a completion cycle and a starting of the new. It's a great time to release those old skins and to make the commitments, plant the seeds, to nurture, Cancer being the nurturer, these relationships and ways that you relate to the mother, to the feminine, and to decision making in general. So I just want to go ahead and drop into the space. Holy Mother, Divine Father, calling forth the highest light of truth, whose transmissions to serve those that are wanting to make the most of this time, wanting to make the most of this energy, help us receive the messages, the signs, the revelations that allow us to access the deeper wisdom held within this lunar cycle and how it applies to our life. And with that, so be it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Amen. All right, so I feel inclined to start with this new deck that dear sister gave to me. Shout out to Christy for gifting me the Rose Oracle deck by Rebecca Campbell. She also does the Work Your Light Oracle deck, which I use often in my readings. So we're going to go ahead and pull the theme for this lunar cycle. Full moon was last night, Friday night, the 5th. And, that window is open about 3 days before, 3 days after, whenever the moon is at its peak points. So, Spirit, what is the theme for this energy? Whispers of Mother Earth. Creativity, ideas, inspiration, artist, writer, channel. I felt that this week. I've had some really potent ideas come in that have to do with bringing people together and resources. How do we build community? So there's been a lot of creativity, and Cancer is it's a creative sign, right? It's the mother, the creatrix. So I'm wanting to hear, what is it that has been stirring in you? Have you had any ideas coming forward to you? And if you have, don't brush them off quite yet. Maybe journal about some of these things and follow them. Like, take action in small ways even if it is just writing something down as an intention that you're going to follow up with it. So whispers of Mother Earth. Hold on, there we go. There are creations seated within you, planted before your birth. There are unborn possibilities yearning to be woven and creative solutions waiting to be realized. Songs of the ancient earth humming through you, beckoning to be sung. New consciousness that longs to be written into matter. Surrender to the creations whispering you forth. Perhaps they're calling you to reweave the web of life in some small way, to stitch the soul in a little more. We came bearing keys for each other, and as you share your song, it unlocks something in someone else. Creativity and intuition come from the same sacred place. They can't be reproduced. They occur when we find ourselves flowing with the rest of life. Earth is a planet of creativity, and yet so many of us have forgotten how to truly create. So much of humanity has been raised to consume. We're so focused on more that we've forgotten how to grow sustainably. Our consumption is killing us. Trust the seeds that have been planted within you. Somewhere along the way, we stopped seeing ourselves as artists, creatives, poets, and singers. Yet to be human is to be creative. It doesn't matter what the result may be. Just carve out time to express your soul through your creativity. The seeds planted within you will show you the way. They have intelligence within them, and all you need to do is tend them through daily, grounded, creative action. What does your soul most yearn to create? Acknowledge what that's been for you this week or this weekend. There's a part in there that really spoke to me of like, if you don't really have a crystallized idea of what it is that inspires you, but you get like this notion of, man, it would feel really good to do art, but you don't know what it is. Just like do something without needing it to have a certain result, without it needing to look good. Just being in the process of getting the energy moving, and then it may start to take a more conscious form, a more connected form. But just follow that impulse, that creative impulse. It's like, get out of the house and go be around people, or stay home and work on some project that you've always thought about, or it's probably something newer is what I'm getting. It's something newer rather than something old. These are new projects that are coming in. And I'm feeling this wave of creativity. This is coming from the soul, though. This is something that's meant to align your path with your purpose. It's meant to align who you are with what you do in the world. And we get listen to your intuitive feelings. That's the practical step. Listen to your intuitive feelings. Your body is receiving accurate messages from the divine. So that intuition is something that we do have to feel it in the body. We have to feel for what is, oh my gosh, excuse me, I don't know why I'm yawning. We've got to feel for what is resonant, in alignment. What feels true, what feels false, what feels expansive, what feels contractive, what feels heavy, what feels light. Those can only be sensed inside of the body. So utilizing the body as, this is very strange, I'm like being asked to draw cards in a way I've never done. Using the body as the instrument for discerning. So there are a bunch of cards here pulled in this Pluto Oracle deck. And we need to watch out for the Puppet Master. That's the challenge in this reading. second. These decks don't have a... It's not easy to find it in the booklet. This is what I'm trying to mumble out. So we got the Puppet Master. But then we also got the Swan and the Snake. The Puppet Master. And obviously I think of, being manipulated, but not necessarily by somebody else. Well, that is certainly implicated here. Where we're doing that to ourselves. This says projection, distortion, the ego, and self-awareness. The gatekeepers to the depths of our psyches will always be the ego. The ego isn't fundamentally a bad thing. Much of psychology and spiritual work deals with acquiring self-awareness to recognize when the ego has stepped into the limelight and we are acting from the womb. The Puppet Master represents this wounded ego and its lessons. Consider the artwork of the card for a moment. Notice how the head of the Puppet Master seems to form one of the heads of Cerberus, the dog shadow projected on the wall. Sometimes we are the victim of other people's projections, but sometimes, and oftentimes, we are the projector. If this card has appeared in a reading, it's time for you to figure out which is the case right now. Keep in mind that both can be true at once. Mindful awareness is required of you now to discern not only if you're acting from the wound, but also from which one. If we are triggered in our trauma, the way things appear and or feel can be distorted. It's time to ground yourself, carve out some space and time, get quiet, and wait for clarity to rise to the surface. And then the snake followed that. I'm sorry, the swan followed that, and then the snake. The swan, I think of the swan, I think of relationships, I think of balance, mirroring, I also think of dance, so soulmate, special connection with someone else. The swan is a bird revered for its beauty and grace. They are a rather rare sight in many parts of the world, and there is something extraordinary about seeing a pair of elegant swans together. Just as swans wait to find the perfect match, knowing they will mate for life, this card is an affirmation that you found yourself a truly special connection. There is something more profound about the energy between you, where love and deep understanding just seem to flow. Keep in mind this connection may not be romantic. Whoever the person is that comes to mind as you read this description, that's the relationship that the swan is pointing to. Perhaps this relationship is a big focus in your life right now, or maybe it needs to be a bigger one. Reach out to the person, spend time in their company, and share what's in your heart. Allow the ease and flow of understanding, love, compassion, and deep nurturing to nourish your soul. It may also be that they need the same energy from you now. Offer up a listening ear and share your deep gratitude for the presence in your life. So there feels like there's more to this. Implied by the snake card. When I think of snake, I think of wisdom. I think of deception too, though. I think of being very cautious. Being mindful about where you step. This one says the divine feminine, a spiritual awakening and a healing. So there's definitely new relationships that are coming to life right now. And this part about creativity, that also is, it's the divine feminine, being in touch with our creative side, and is this bringing you into deeper, more meaningful relationships, and Are your relationships giving birth to deeper and more meaning, creativity, life? Is it birthing something in your life? Is it birthing something beautiful that is aligning you with your life path? The snake is one of the oldest known symbols of the goddess, and it has a powerful correspondence in the occult. The snake is rich in meaning and revered in many cultures, with one of the most famous representations being Kundalini, a snake goddess believed to be triggered at the start of a profound spiritual awakening. If the snake has graced your reading with its presence, it's likely you are undergoing this process now. So there's somebody in your life or somebody coming into your life that is initiating the awakening of these seeds that are planted in you. Like it's instructions, like your DNA that's getting activated, and it might quite actually be that the DNA is getting activated. And so this coding that you came here with that goes, all right, now it's time to build this, this, and this in the world. All right, now it's time to become this, and this person. That's what's happening. It's so interesting. I like just keep getting drawn to pull just the Pluto deck, which is, I'm kind of bewildered because it's different. And the layout is very different. So just as a snake shedding its skin, new moon, shedding, that's the time of shedding the skin, letting that raw pink underbelly be exposed. This is a sure sign of growth, and you may be experiencing old beliefs or versions of yourself falling away now. And it may be that this relationship is causing you to go through that. It may be showing you and giving you reflections of yourself, of things that maybe you don't particularly like about yourself, or maybe it's an inspiration and guiding you towards ways that you can become your most authentic self. Many people are emerging into a whole new being, and to fully embrace their authentic self, and that this may be a process of integration. And what you must apply in order to make the most out of this relationship, whether with yourself or with someone else, with your creativity, is to release your expectations. Find ease, find flow. Again, come into your intuition and your instincts, and let them guide you. And even let go of the expectations around the way that maybe you used to receive answers and confirmation, and open to a new way of experiencing your intuition. And this comes from the jellyfish. They're about 95% water. That's appropriate with working with this Cancer energy. And because they don't have a brain, a heart, or bones, or a central nervous system. They rely solely on their sensitive nerve endings to the base of their tentacles to detect, touch, and find the flow of the ocean. And so their lack of resistance to the ocean currents enables them to navigate their underwater world with ease. So have you considered that needing to be in control or feeling tied to a certain outcome may be holding you back? When we can embrace the current situation for what it truly is, we are freed from the chains of our expectations, and the weight of stress is lifted. When we can find peace in the present and go with the natural cycles of our lives with trust, we may end up where we expected to be, but somewhere else. And then it offers the famous Bruce Lee quote, "Be like water, making its way through cracks. Do not be assertive, but adjust to the object, and you shall find a way around or through it. If nothing within you stays rigid, outward things will disclose themselves. Empty your mind, be formless, shapeless like water." If you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle and it becomes the bottle. You put it into a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend. That leads me to also think about the limitations that we set in our mind about who we can be and what we can achieve, and how simple it actually can be to just put on the persona of what you want to be. So if you want to be somebody who is confident, who is wealthy, you start to think, okay, what would somebody who is wealthy and confident act like in this situation? How would they walk? How would they hold themselves? How would they speak? How would they think? What would they do? And then you just start to become it. You put on the role that you actually want to be, and you will become that. Pour the water in the cup, it becomes the cup. Pour the water in the bottle, it becomes the bottle. What do you want to inhabit? Be like water, and then choose what vessel do you want to inhabit. We have Jade from our Mayan Oracle deck. And jade is considered a very precious stone. It's a symbol of, or symbolizing life and the deity of water. Here again, like so much water here. How can you utilize the element of water in your life? I mean, doing a water ritual could be very potent right now. In particular, I like to do all of like my skincare as far as exfoliation, full body exfoliation on the new moon, because this is when the energy of creativity is at its peak. So your skin will grow back in a way that's very nourished, very fortified. You get the most out of the cycle. You're aligning yourself with the natural cycle of your body as without in the world. So this card, it's green, it's the color of vegetation, it's the color of life, and jade signifies abundance. Also the joy of living. And when you draw jade, you are in the perfect space to begin something new. And whatever you create will germinate and grow. Plant your seeds, fam. Plant your seeds. This is such a fertile ground to shift the trajectory of your life. If you don't do this, you may look back and regret it when it comes to the full moon. So take the time to really invest yourself in merging with this creative cycle, merging with this particular lunar cycle. Jade is also a protector, so be assured that the tender new growth will be kept safe. And that's the completion of the reading. What an odd reading. But it was new, right? Like I was just listening to the impulse that was coming through, and it wanted to have a new rhythm. And I noticed this yesterday in conversations that I've had. I'm noticing this with myself, with my body. There's like tweaking that's happening and wanting to happen in our life. So get out of your usual routines. Get out of the mundane, get out of the thing that you've been consistently doing, and just change it up a little bit. Change up the surroundings in your home. Take a different road when you drive. Do a different workout if you go to the gym. Listen to music that's different. Anything you can do that's going to be different than what you're doing on a regular basis, I think will really serve you. And again, if that creative energy is there and you really just don't know what to do, take a moment to really be in your body. Maybe do a breathing practice, do a yoga practice, something where you can get in touch with your body. And then you think about, what are some options right now? What does life want to do right now with me? What would feel good? So if you've got plans to clean your house and that just doesn't feel good, get rid of that idea and go towards what feels good. Those are the seeds you need to plant right now. Follow your bliss. Follow those inspired thoughts and actions that make you feel alive and connect you with joy, and flow like water. Let go of any rigidity that is creating that, like, I see it as a boundary, but it's not a healthy boundary. It's the limited boundary that you've created for yourself that just no longer is really helping anymore. So I'm hearing right now this is a great time to do some meditation practice so that you can get your mind in check, so that your mind, the rigidity of the mind, doesn't try to keep you in that resisted state of resisting the change and the flow of life. Thanks for joining me. If you like this, if it was helpful, please like. If you want more, subscribe. Share it with anybody that you think it would help. I always appreciate the support with the algorithms. And I'm just so grateful for this particular cycle, and wishing you all a beautiful new moon, new creative, I've said cycle so many times, new creative timeline. And until we meet again, keep it pure, stay simple. Pura vida.